Hello everyone, welcome to the session Object Oriented Programming through Java. Myself Navya. I am an assistant professor from the department of CSIT in the MLR Institutions of Technology. Today we are going to see exception handling of part 2. In this session, you are going to see how exceptions can be handled in Java and try and catch in Java, multiple catch clauses and nested try statements. These are the 4 things we are going to see in this particular session. Now, how exceptions can be handled in Java. In Java, the exception handling mechanism has 5 keywords, namely try, catch, finally, throw, throws. So in throwable class, we have seen this one, right? Throwable class, you will have 2 subclasses, one is exception and one is error. So runtime exceptions again divided into 2 checked and unchecked exceptions. So these can be handled in these 5 keywords, using these 5 keywords: try, catch, finally, throw and throws. So coming to try and catch in Java. Try and catch, both are the keywords used in exception handling. So how the developer or the programmer has to handle these exceptions using these are the 2 keywords are main keywords. So try keyword is used to define a block of code that will test at the occurrence of exception. So if you know, if for example, if I am writing a program, might be, so you might have the code, if you are having a block of code that might occur an exceptions. So that code has to be keep in the try block. So try is used to define a block of code that would be test the occurrence of exceptions. Keyword catch is used to define a block of code that handles the exception occurred in a respective try block. If you are writing a code in a try block, if any exception occurs in that particular try block, that would be cached in the catch block and it will go with the particular handling of that exception would be happen in the catch block. The uncaught exceptions are not caught by the compiler exceptions but automatically caught and handled the Java in a built-in exception handling which we have seen in the last session, right? So both try and catch are used as a pair. So every try block should have minimum of 1 catch block. Every try block must have at least 1 or more catch blocks. You can have n number of catch blocks. We cannot use try without at least 1 catch block, and catch alone can be used. This was a syntax for try and catch block. So you have to write the code in a particular try block that you need to test it, and catch block you have to write in this exception type or object. If you does not know what type of exception, directly you can use exception and you have to create an object for that exception such as E, like this. So code for handling exception will be having here like this. And next, multiple catch clauses. So let us see a small example program for try and catch. Okay, class, I am taking try example. Okay, simply int n1 comma n2. Okay, I just want to ask enter 2 values for division. Okay, I was asking the user to enter 2 values. So what are the values he has given? I am taking it. This is an integer value. Now I just want to print the int try block. I am taking int c equals to n1/n2. So it might occur an exception here. So simply I am printing this c value. So this is my try block, and I might get the arithmetic exception. So if an exception occurs, directly it has to handle system.out.println a.message. Java C try example.java. So Java try example. See here I am giving two values 5 and 3. So I will give the value 1. The same I am giving 5 and 0. So I got an exception here. The message which I did lang.arithmetic exception / divided by 0 exception you have occurred. So like this the try and catch block will work if any code, for example this is my code, I might get an error here, isn't it? I might get error here. So this type where I got error here, now this will be handled in catch block. Okay, so this is how we are handling exceptions using try and catch. So coming to multiple catch clauses. So multiple catch clauses, a try block may has one or more number of catch blocks. So if one try block has n number of catch blocks, which means single try statement may have multiple catch clauses. So in a single block of code, you might get n number of exceptions. Okay, so such type of catch clauses, if you for one try block, if you are writing n number of catch clauses, then it is said to be multiple catch clauses. So when a try block has more than one catch block, each catch block must contain a different exception type to be handled. And multiple catch clauses are defined when a try block consists of the code that may lead to different type of exceptions. Okay, so this is multiple catch clauses. So these are some note points you can have here. The try block generates only one exception at a time. Okay, the try block generates only one exception at a time, and at a time only one catch block is executed. If you are writing n number of catch blocks also, at the time of one exception it will handle by only one catch block. And when there are multiple catch blocks, the order of the catch blocks must be from the most specific exception handling to most general. So most specific exception handling to most general exception you have to write. Catch block with exception class handler must be defined at the last. For sure, if you are using multiple catch clauses, you have to use an exception class handler that must be defined for sure at the last. So these are some note points. These are the 3 note points you must be noted for the when you are writing the multiple catch clauses example. So this is an example program. See here, I am writing an example program. I am using a try which consists of a list with 5 values, and I am initializing list of 2 equals to 10 and list of 4 equals to 2. Now I am taking list of 10 equals to list of 2 by list of 4. So it's an index out of bounds exception. You might get an arithmetic exception here, value of device which is list of 2 by 4, which is 10 by 2, or if I am writing instead of 10, if I give 0 here, you might get an arithmetic exception. The second exception is array index out of bounds exception. And the next one, you are giving some catch block, and next exception, it's in general exception, unknown exception has occurred. So for sure you have, for the multiple clauses, you have to give this one exception. So let us try this example program and see. So this is my program. If I am giving list of 2 equals to 0, sorry, list of 4 equals to 0, the denominator is 0 here. So no errors at the time of compilation. Okay. So what is an error? The value divisor cannot be 0. So this exception I have got here once. So I am changing this value here. So only one exception has been caught and it terminated, right? Now I am giving the value of 2. See here, what error I have got? Array index out of bounds exception. List of 10. I have taken only the list is, it consists of only 5. It can handle only 5. It can hold only 5 values. But I am going with index out of bounds. I am asking for list of 10. So which is an index out of bounds error. Okay, if any of the errors, exceptions are not handled, other than this, if any exception occurs, then it will go to the exception E. This is how the multiple catch clauses will work. Next, coming to nested try statements. A try inside another try statement is known as nested try statements. We already know. So nested is nothing but one inside the other. For anything, the one inside the another is called as nested. Here, the try statement inside another try statement is known as nested try statement. The try statement, another try statement is known as nested try statement. A try block within another try block. Okay. So, when there are nested try blocks, each try blocks must have one or more separate catch block. For the inner try block, you has to have the separate catch blocks, as well as for the outer try block has to have the separate catch blocks. Coming to example program for nested try blocks. See here, I am having a try block. One try block I have declared with list, and I am having this one, and again inside another try block. For inside try block, I am writing the catch. So this is opened, isn't it? Now for this has ended here, so I am writing the catch block for this. It might lead to the array index out of bounds exception. So I am writing for this. So I have closed this one and I have closed this try block also. Now I have to write then exception catch block for this particular outer try block. So it might lead to an arithmetic exception. So I am writing an arithmetic exception and I am writing catch exception, general exception, it might occur. So this is how the nested try blocks will be happen. So let us do this program here. So this is my program. So I just want to have, instead of 4, I have to go with 0. Okay. Nested try catch example.java. I don't have any compilation errors. Now when I execute it, so what is the error I have got? I have got the outer try block consists of an exception, isn't it? The outer try block, here I have got an exception. So the outer catch block will be handled. So this catch block will be handling. So what will be this error? Value of divisor cannot be 0. So the value of divisor cannot be 0. So this is what I have got. Now I just want to take it with 2. Okay. So no exception in the outer try block. Now there is an exception in inner try block. isn't it? So, when I execute, see the inner cache block was handling. So, what is this? Array index out of bounds exceptions. Array index out of bounds exception has occurred. So, the inner try block will be handled for inner cache block will be handled by for inner try block. Outer cache block will be handled by outer try block. So, this is how the nested try catch block will be handled by the programmer. So, in this session, we have learned how exceptions are handled in Java, by using 5 keywords, isn't it? What are those? Try, catch, throw, throws, and finally. These are the 5 keywords which are used to handle the exceptions. In this, we have seen try catch. So, first we have seen try and catch. Okay, and again we have seen multiple catch clauses. If one try block has multiple catches, then multiple catch clauses. Next, we have seen nested try blocks. If you are having nested try blocks, we have seen this, and we have seen the example programs for these 3. So, in the next sessions, we will learn the other 3 keywords, and we'll see how the exceptions would be handled using all the 5 keywords. Thank you all.